Hello and welcome to this episode of the Okie Outdoor Gear Review. Today we're going to be doing a DIY segment. Um, as you guys know, I've said in some of my previous videos that I gear this channel towards budget-friendly gear and ways of saving money to get you the stuff and the gear that you want. So today we're going to be focusing on a project. We're going to be making our own fire starters. Now these fire starters that we're going to be making today, I've bought them previously at your stores like REI and Cabela's, Bass Pro. Walmart sometimes has them, Academy, places of that nature. So these fire starters, they work. The product's good, but in my opinion, for the amount you pay for them and the amount you get doesn't really justify what goes into making them. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this type of fire starter uh, at a fraction of the cost, pennies on the dollar. So we're going to jump right into that, and I'll show you the materials you're going to need to create these, and they're super simple. Nothing hard to get your hands a hold of, and I'll put the links in the description box. Where you can get these items. And so we'll step into that right now, and I'll show you the items you're going to need to create these fire starters, and then we'll jump right into making them. So today we're in the Outdoor Gear Review kitchen, aka my home kitchen. So I'm going to try not to make a big mess in here and get people mad at me, but I'm going to show you what you're going to need to make these fire starters. And this is a really simple thing to do. You really don't need anything, extravagant to make these. You can come up with your own ideas also to make these. So basically what you're going to need are, these are called dental packs. Um, sorry, excuse me. So I did have a hard time finding these. I used to be able to buy them at Walmart and like CVS or a local pharmacy, but these are dental packs, and they're basically just a cotton tube, um, probably about an inch to an inch and a half long, and probably about a quarter to 3/8 inch in diameter. Now, where I did find these was on Amazon, and they were crazy cheap. So I got a package of 200 of these. Each one of these little things is 50. But I got these on Amazon, and I want to say, and I'll put the price in the video. These were like $7, I believe, for 200. Today we're only going to be doing probably 50. So we won't need the rest of these for right now. But I kind of make what I need for the season, and then I'll put the rest of these up and use them for the next season. So you're gonna, and you can also use cotton balls or the little round cotton pads for that women use for like makeup removal. They work great for this also. Excuse me. So you'll need some of those, and you don't have to do 50, or you can do however many you want. I usually do about 50 every season, and then that lasts me, all season. Whether we're car camping or tent camping or RV camping or whatever, but these are really good. So you'll also need Gulfwax. This is, you can find this in most of your grocery stores in the canning aisle. They use this for canning purposes. This is a 16-ounce box. Now it comes in 4 small bricks. I've used one of them. I made some another style of fire starter, and I'll show you those in the video. But it comes with four of these small bricks. of Gulfwax. These I want to say were like $3 or $4 for a box of this, and we won't be using all this wax. This is probably enough wax to make a couple of hundred of these. So also you'll need, depending on the color of your choosing, I like to have color on mine. That way, if I drop them, they're somewhat visible on the ground. You know, if you do them in just the white with the clear wax, if you're out in a snowy condition, you drop them, they're going to be really hard to see. In the summer, you can do them in this white. Just, you know, leave them in the clear wax, and you know, you'd be able to see them on the ground. But I like to color mine. So basically, I just take a couple of regular crayons. Doesn't matter what color you use it. You know, it's your preference. But I usually do like a red or a blue or something like that. So we'll be using that on these. And then I typically put a small amount of an accelerant in my wax once I melt it, just to give it a little bit more flammability. I typically use a kerosene or a lighter fluid. Don't use gas. I've heard of some people using gas. To me, gas is just too volatile. So use your slower burning accelerators. Now, you don't have to put an accelerator in these. Just with the wax, they will burn, but I find that they catch a spark a little bit better if you're using a ferro rod or something like that, or like a flint and steel. But I typically use, like I said, a kerosene or a just a regular like Zippo lighter fluid. um, so that's basically the ingredients that you're going to need for this. Now, if you're doing this in the kitchen here, like I am, these will somewhat make a mess if you know, drop the wax or drip the wax on anything. So like what I like to do is, oh, and you'll also need some type of tong or something like that to retrieve it out of the wax. A fork or anything will work. But typically what I do is I put some of you know, cardboard or paper sacks from our local grocery store. I'll put those down, and then I also will put down some aluminum foil. And this is basically, once we dip the dental packs in the wax, we'll set these out to dry on this. I've used like parchment paper before, or like a wax paper. I find that because it has wax in the paper, they tend to stick, so they don't stick to the aluminum foil. So I just use aluminum foil, and I'll set these out kind of like a cookie sheet. You're just gonna space them out on here and let them dry, and then I usually transfer them to a Ziploc baggie or something like that. So from here, we'll get a burner going, and then we'll get a block of wax mixed. I usually do a block at a time. That way I don't have to try to pour the excess wax into another container. So I'll do a block at a time, and then I'll add, you know, just pieces of a crayon. That way I'm not, you know, over melting wax that I don't need. So for melting your wax, you can basically use any vessel that you want. Sometimes I'll use, you know, my some of my camping cups or little camping pots or something like that. The cleanup in it is fairly easy. I'll just get some really hot tap water, and it'll melt the wax out of the pot or vessel that you're using. I wouldn't pour that down your drain. Just, it might clog your drain or something. But I'll typically, like, you know, just pour it into our garbage garbage can or something like that. But the pots you clean up really easy. So basically, you're going to want some type of flame source. I've used the my camping stoves making these or whatever, but we're just going to do it here in the kitchen today. Um, so okay, so basically we're just gonna get our burner set. I usually go a low range heat. You don't have to boil this stuff; you're just melting it. So we'll get our wax here. Now, when you do melt this stuff, you'll see some fumes coming up, and that's just the paraffin burn off from the wax itself. But I'll basically just set that in there, and then we'll give that a few minutes to melt down. And once I get it melted down, that's when I add the crayon for the colorant. Most kind of look like it's smoking a little bit. Your flame's too high. As you can see here, I'm on a low mid-range temperature here, so there's no fumes or anything. And then once I get the wax liquefied, we'll go ahead and break our crayon. We'll put about half in there and see what it gets us. We're almost completely liquefied. So if you can see that, how it's going to a blue, nice blue color. So like I said, don't add, if you add an accelerant to your wax mixture, don't do it over the stove. Turn your flame off, or your electric burner or whatever you're using, and move it over to your tinfoil area, and then we'll go ahead and add the rest of that crayon and let that melt, just to get a little bit more pigment in there. Like I said, you don't have to use colorant in them. I do, it just makes them more visible. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Kind of give you a downward view there. Nice looking blue. Okay, so I'll turn my heat source off, and now as I'm doing this, I might have to return this to the heat. It takes a little while for this to start to solidify, or not solidify, but harden up again. So sometimes, if I'm going slower or whatever, it'll start to gel up, and I'll return it back to the heat to melt it down. So basically, I've turned my heat source off. So now I've got a little bit of kerosene here. This is maybe about 1/8 of a cup of kerosene. It doesn't take a whole lot. So I'll add that in, kind of give that a little bit of a swirl. And now you basically just get some of your dental packs, drop them into the mixture, let them completely soak up. And then just move them over to your tin foil. Now, if you do use an accelerant in your mixture, you will have a slight odor from that lighter fluid or that kerosene. So if that bothers you, you might maybe do this outside or in a ventilated area. It's very minute, so it doesn't really bother me. So these fire starters, I like these fire starters because they're small and compact. There's several brands out there. Typically, when I was buying these before, I'd buy them at REI, and um, you were typically the price range. Usually, they'll come in like a pack of like 25 or 30. You're going to pay anywhere from 12 to $14 for a 30 pack of these. Now, a 30 pack of these would last me one whole season. And when I say a season, that's like a winter season or a summer season, um, fall or spring. Um, but if you make these yourself, you can make 50 of them for just a couple of bucks. And it goes really fast, as you can tell. And you can throw 3 or 4 or 5 of them in there. These dental packs, you'll see there's a little bit of bubbling around the dental pack, and that's basically that wax is seeping into that cotton and pushing the air out of it. But these will be waterproof. These will strike up with ferro rod, flint steel, and I'll kind of demonstrate at the end of the video. These typically have a burn time of around 6 minutes. Some of them have, burnt for like 8 minutes. If you can kind of see that one, you can do like a double dip on these just to get a real good coating on those. But it doesn't take a lot. These dental packs, you can, if you're going to be in a dry, arid climate, and there's not going to be any rain or anything like that, you can use these little dental packs without, putting any type of wax or accelerant or anything like that. What the wax does is, sorry, what the wax does is it makes them waterproof. So what we'll do is, it looks like I'm going to have more wax left over than to just do the 50. So we'll basically do as many as this one block of wax will do. So we'll see where we're at towards the end. So as you can see, it's really, really simple. Nothing hard about it at all. I do stuff like this, so the money that I save making these for myself kind of goes into my gear budget. So for me, because I'm kind of crazy about gear, any money that I can save helps me get other stuff. So you can't go wrong with that. We'll continue here. Crazy easy. Now, like I said, the fire starters that you buy like this, there's nothing wrong with them. They work great. They work just as good as these. But for me, it's all about, saving a little bit of money. And all in all, without filming, this would honestly probably take you about 10 minutes to do. So, while we're dipping these and letting these soak up, um, I started this channel about a month ago, and just the response that I've had so far, it's blown me away, guys. I appreciate the support. Um, the views that my videos have been getting has just been blowing my mind. I wasn't expecting it at all. Um, this is my first time, ever doing something like this, and man, it's a lot of fun for me. I really enjoyed it, and I just wanted to thank you guys, for checking out my channel and viewing my videos and subscribing, but uh, I hope this channel turns into something, even bigger. So, I'm constantly thinking about, new content, new things to do. We're going to redip a couple of these real fast. All got a pretty good soak. So, but yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for the support, and please like and subscribe and hit that notification button. It does help the channel. I would like to get to the point where I'm monetized, and at some point, the dream with this channel is maybe to be able to go full time at it or something at some point. I know that's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication on my part, and I'm willing to put that into it. I really enjoy outdoors and outdoor gear. So here we have, I'd say that's probably about a quarter cup left. So I'll give this just a little heat, just to melt it down just a little bit more, and then I'll grab a few more of these. Now the reason I use the tin foil is because as you can see on the tin foil around these, you've got wax drippings. Um, if you just use paper or just like a paper sack, that wax will somewhat seep through if you get enough on there, and it'll transfer to your counter. It's not real hard to clean up, but it is kind of a pain in the booty. So as you can see, with just one block of the wax, you can make a lot of these. And I want to say, and like I said, I'll put the prices of this stuff in the description or in the video, and links to the products in the description box. But I want to say the dental packs were, with tax and everything, were like $8. So divide that by 4. So 50 of these is $2. A box of the wax is I want to say it was like three or 350 or maybe $4. So right now, basically what we have invested is about $4 worth of material to create these, and then a few minutes of our own time. So as you can see there, those last 5 basically used up all that wax. So we'll get a count here to see how many we made. 68. So around almost 70 fire starters for $4. So if you were to go to the store and buy these, to get 70 of these, you're probably going to be spending $30. And we've done it for around $4. So typically what I'll do is I'll let these completely set up, cool down, and then I'll just transfer them to a Ziploc bag, and I'll put a majority of them in a Ziploc bag, and then, sorry, excuse me, I'll store them in that, and I'll usually store them in the refrigerator. That way they just don't melt. Now in the summertime, these can tend, if you keep them all in say one container, if it gets real hot or whatever, they will kind of melt and stick together, but they still work. So, but yeah, all in all, 68 fire starters. And I probably could have got 2 more out of the little bit of residual wax that was in there. So let's say 70 fire starters for around $4, give or take, a few cents. But yeah, it's that simple. And once they cool down, I'll take one of them and I'll show you how they work. Some of you guys have probably used product like this, so a lot of you guys might know exactly how to use them. A lot of you guys might make them yourself. If you do make your own fire starters, let me know down in the comment section. What's your favorite fire starter? I know there's millions of them out there, and I use several different styles of fire starters. I use fat wood, and I use your what are they called, like bundles of shaved wood and stuff like that. But yeah, these are typically some of my favorite ones. So that's why I take the time to make these myself and save money on these. But yeah, we'll let these cool down, and then I'll show you exactly how they work. And I appreciate you guys joining me on this episode today. This is going to be a segment, probably an ongoing segment that we're going to be doing, just DIY projects to save a little bit of money. If you have no problem, investing a little bit of your time, you can save money on stuff, and that money can go to other goodies and other gear. So that's one of the reasons I do it. But like I said, this is my first video of the new year, and this will be our 5th video. I just really want to thank you guys, for your support and on this endeavor. I love gear and I love the outdoors, and as you can tell, I like talking about stuff like this. But I just really want to thank you guys for joining me, and we'll finish letting these cure, and then I'll show you how they work. Thank you. So we have our fire starter that we made. So basically what you're going to do is you're just going to crinkle that up, fray it up, tear it apart, see the little fiber, how it gets fibrous. And then you're basically just going to set that down wherever you're wanting to do your fire, make your fire or whatever. And I'm cheating. I'm just going to use a lighter here since we're indoors. And then you're just going to light that. See there? And it lights up stupid fast. Like I said, these will take a spark like crazy. For them to take a spark, you want to really fray them up, get those fibers sticking out. So yeah, that's your DIY fire starter. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I can't wait to see what this year brings. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have a good one.